Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
The Rockin' Review is so thrilled to have on Grammy Award-winning multi-instrumentalist, the Queen of Bluegrass, Rhonda Vincent. Rhonda, thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
You know, I feel like I know you already from seeing you on the Opry and keeping up with you on social media. And and you are, you're just doing all these things at once, and you got a brand new album out. And I got to tell you, I hear a lot of hits on here.
Oh, I love hearing that. Thank you.
So how did all these songs come about? Because also, I got to tell you, first time I've ever heard a bluegrass version of Unchained Melody, and you just nailed it.
You know, that was the most challenging song I have ever sang. And it took 12 hours to sing that. I sang for 6 hours. We still didn't feel it was right. I sang, went to bed, got up the next morning and started singing again, another 6 hours. So that song was 12 hours. Just my vocal was 12 hours in the making. And I have to say, I'm a little terrified to sing it live. You know, the breathing patterns are so different. Singing is breathing. And it is so different, and I have yet to learn that. My first goal was to sing "I Ain't Been Nowhere" and remember 392 words, and I just accomplished that. I sang it on the Opry, no teleprompter, no notes, no nothing. So I've got that one. So my next challenge is, for the next time, is to sing Unchained Melody. I'm going to be shaken though, I think.
Well, it just sounds amazing though. And I think we all know that hit song, but I really like the way you interpreted it. And I got to bring it also, where we were talking about before we started the interview, I Ain't Been Nowhere. It's like, I felt like you had cameras in my house because I'm listening to this. I'm like going, oh my God, Rhonda really knows me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Chuck Mead put those. Chuck Mead's the guy who was spying on you, I guess. So
yeah, because I mean, what great lyrics! Because I think and what a fun, lighthearted look at a hard time for everyone. Particularly, you and your band and so many artists and musicians, to where just sort of looking at the pandemic, what we were doing, because we haven't been anywhere. We've been stuck in our houses, and so it's like I think it's just a fun jab at that.
Oh yeah, when I didn't want that to overtake the album, which is why we waited to 2021 to release it. Right. It's something we can look at, like you say, lightheartedly, but also then there's so much more to the album. So putting Unchained Melody, so many classics. Porter Wagner, he wrote the very first song, 1972. He released it. We put our own arrangement to that. I wanted this album to feature the incredible musicians that make up the Rage. Their skill level is just limitless. And so this whole album is mostly the Rage. There's a couple of guests, Tim Rabin and the Isaacs are the only two guests. Other than that, it was created by my band and I feel like it's a wonderful showcase for them.
Well, I got to agree with you. Music is what I see. And that song also, what a great snapshot of Broadway and downtown with the lyrics. And I also know that you worked with some other of your friends, including Jeannie Seely, Aaron Enderlin, and also Bobby.
Yes, they wrote a song. I feel like it was written for me. It wasn't. And then, it's that thing of, dreams come true, being an Opry member, riding around Nashville with a Grand Ole Opry star, Jeannie Seely. And then she starts singing to you a song she just wrote with Aaron Enderlin and Bobby Tomberlin. And you go, I loved it instantly. It was love at first listen. And so I said, I would love to record it, thinking probably it was already recorded or going to be by somebody else. And anyway, they allowed me to sing that. It was a #1 bluegrass song. And I just love it. I love singing it.
Well, you and your band are so incredible too, to where I felt like, besides the bluegrass songs and incredible harmonies, but I like it where you guys cut loose to where, and you've even got like a swing song in there. And I'm like going, wow, how much did Rhonda pack into this one album?
It was, we tried to get a little bit of everything, something for everyone, gospel music, country music, and hard driving bluegrass. Somebody said, you've not recorded any really hard driving bluegrass songs. So we did I'd Like to Be a Train. And if that's not bluegrass, then I don't know what is.
And I love that song. As soon as I saw the title on there, I'm like, oh my gosh. And you guys just do such a great version of that song. I got to bring this up to where some of our viewers may not know that you were raised in the small town of Greentop, Missouri. We are both Missouri people.
That's awesome. Yes, I still live there. I've always lived there. I have a place in Nashville too, but my home, if I go home, I always go back to Missouri. Live in Lake of the Ozarks now, but grew up in a tiny little town. It's just about 15 miles from the Iowa border. It's at the Greentop, which is at the top of Missouri, in the heart of America.
That is so awesome. Yeah, I mean, I know, from my living back in Missouri as well, it's like it was always the heartland.
Yes.
And so it was so neat because I did not know that you were from Missouri, but you started singing at a young age at 5, and then started picking up instruments. I believe mandolin at 8, and
That's
then
right.
fiddle at 12, and you just kept gathering steam, and you were playing with your family band, and I thought it was so interesting to me that you used to jam with your grandfather after school too.
Well, my dad picked me up from school. We played till dinner time. We were singing and playing, Dad and Grandpa and I. After dinner, there was a music party at my grandparents' house every night. Now we just lived, there was only a house away. So I made a dozen trips a day there. But yeah, there's this wonderful life of music. It was, it wasn't a career. It was just something that has evolved into a career. It was seriously a way of life because we were, playing. It was all great until I got to be a teenager. And all of a sudden, I learned that Barb Wheeler and Tommy Parsons were at the skating rink, and I was stuck at home with my parents and all these friends playing. So it was all good before that. But a perfect example of, to say it is a way of life. We had a call from Medford, Oregon. That was 40 hours drive one way. And they invited us to play, and we got in our motorhome, and the Vincent family, which we were called the Sally Mountain Show, we drove 40 hours one way to Medford, Oregon. We played a 90-minute show, and we drove 40 hours back. Wow. And so it's like, if they invited us, I mean, we played the nursing homes. If they asked us to play, that's where we played.
But what a great bond too, because I mean, you're 5th generation musician, and I know with my family, playing music with my father, it was always such a special time, and it's a totally different bond, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Even my daughters, they went to college, and they found out their music friends, they had a band in college, music friends, that is a very, very special. We grew up, just to show you the intensity that my family of the music. So we played at Silver Dollar City. We were staff musicians, punched the time clock. We played there 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 5 one-hour shows per day. 8 a.m. to 6. And on Friday night, we drove to a festival, and we played Saturday, Sunday, back Monday morning playing. Well, one of my greatest life lessons, we were playing, it was pouring down rain, pouring. My brother Darren and I were like, you know what, Dad, most of the other bands would just sit there and wait till the rain would pass, right? My dad said, they're paying us to play, and we're going to play. We played our full 5 one-hour shows. No one out there, no one. The very next week, my dad got a call from Hal Durham, and he was the general manager of the Grand Ole Opry. Right. He said, Mr. Vincent, I'd like to invite your family to come play the Grand Ole Opry. And my dad said, he said he thought Charlie Louvin had recommended us. We had just met him. He said, we'd like to thank Charlie for recommending us. Mr. Durham said, Charlie had nothing to do with this. My dad said, well, how did you know about my family? He said, last week, while your family was playing in the rain, I was on vacation with my family around the corner listening. Oh, so my God. It was a life lesson that you never know who's listening. You should always do your best.
Well, speaking of doing your best, you gave me the perfect segue. You are a Grand Ole Opry member now. Woo! And it seems like, you and Jeannie Seely, what a powerhouse of women on that stage when you gals are together.
We have so much fun together at the Opry. Off of the Opry, she's just become this dearest friend. We get to have girl talk and also then get to play music together. One of a very special moment was recently, 15 years ago, she started writing a song for me called I Miss Missouri. This could be your theme song.
Oh my God.
So the flood came, here in Nashville. Right. I forgot what year that was.
2010.
She lost all of the lyrics that she had written to that song.
Oh.
She started writing it down. all of this time. Recently, she came to me at the Opry. She said, I want to finish the song I Miss Missouri. She says, I have a few of the lyrics. But she said, we got together with Aaron Enderlin, and she said, I want to write it in my dressing room at the Grand Ole Opry. And Dan Rogers allowed us to go there. So we have just completed that song. Watch, you know what? We just got this project released. Watch for this song on the next one.
Well, you know, I want to bring this up too, Rhonda, to where, you know, you're one of the people I use as an example on how to handle their social media, because, you know, in the past, you know, few years, you've just taken a grip on it, and it's so natural and it's so you, and it's, you know, and I think it's nice, you know, it's not a marketing tool or anything, and I'm not knocking any of that for a lot of artists and bands, but to me, you're speaking directly to your fans and to people, you know, potential fans, and sharing of yourself through your social media.
Well, that's the amazing thing. People are coming to my shows now that have never heard the music before. They have seen my Facebook Live, and they say, well, I feel like I already know you. You're my friend. And, you know, that's what they were saying. They were at home, maybe quarantining and could not get out, but they would say, thank you for doing the Facebook Lives. It's like, you just you kept a happy spirit in our house because of that. And how sweet is that? I just love that. And I love that they're discovering the music through that. So it's really wonderful. But with me, it's kind of what you see is what you get.
Which is incredible, which we love.
And
we love your new album, which is out now. Music is what I say. I want to make sure that our viewers know where to go for your website, social media. Also, I hear you've got a little upcoming show in July they may want to come attend.
Yes, you can go to rhondavincent.com, find the music. There's even a little USB drive that's a replica of my mandolin. It's a mandolin USB drive. You can only get that at rhondavincent.com or our shows. So come to our show when we perform in Nashville, Tennessee at the Ryman Auditorium, the Springer Mountain Farms Bluegrass Nights at the Ryman. We'll be there on July the 8th. Ricky Skaggs is there the week before us. Daly and Vincent is there the week after us. So it's wonderful bluegrass music. It's great to have the Grand Ole Opry open, the Ryman Auditorium open. And so I hope everybody comes out to see us if you love bluegrass music. I'm sure we'll be doing a lot of songs from Music Is What I See.
Well, you know, and also I got to bring this up too, Rhonda. It's not just bluegrass. You've got gospel. You've got everything in this new album. So if they're even not just a big bluegrass fan yet, I think they will be after they get this new album and listen to all of it. There's just so many incredible songs that really touched me. What an incredible album. And now surprised a bit from the Queen of Bluegrass, Rhonda Vincent. Thank you for joining the Rock Interview.
Thank you so much. Blessings to you.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of a Bobby Bones Show.